The road into Hollow Creek was barely a road at all, just a ribbon of cracked asphalt lined with brittle weeds, the edges crumbling into the dry dirt like something long forgotten. I didn't mean to end up there. I'd been driving west from Fort Worth, following a half-hearted plan to meet a friend in Abilene, when the GPS on my phone cut out and the last highway sign I saw had been half bent, its paint faded into uselessness. I thought maybe I'd find a gas station, a diner, anything with people, so I took the narrow turn off without thinking. The air felt heavier almost immediately, like the heat had thickened somehow, pressing against my skin. Hollow Creek didn't appear all at once. It emerged in pieces, first the shell of a gas station, its pumps ripped out, glass long gone from the windows, the canopy sagging. Then a church with a steeple leaning just enough to make you uneasy. Rows of houses followed, weather-beaten skeletons of homes with yawning black windows. There wasn't a sound, not even the distant hum of traffic. I kept the car rolling slow, my tires crunching over gravel and fallen branches. The strangest thing was the way the light looked. It was late afternoon, the sun still high enough, but everything seemed muted, as if the town had stolen some of it away, turning the colors flat and lifeless. I parked near what must have once been the main street, in front of a store with a faded sign that only read Hen's Dry Goods. The door was shut, but I could see straight through the dirty glass into rows of shelves still lined with cans and boxes. Dust lay thick over everything, but it didn't look abandoned in the way you expect, more like it had been left in a hurry, frozen in time. I pushed open the door and it gave this slow, aching creak. The smell hit me immediately, musty, damp, with a faint undertone of something sour, like rot that had been trying to hide. The floorboards groaned under my feet as I walked the narrow aisles, my footsteps disturbingly loud in the quiet. A single fly buzzed lazily past, circling, but I never saw where it landed. In the back of the store, there was a counter with an old register, and beside it, a ledger book lay open. The last entry dated 1974. My eyes lingered on the handwriting, neat, deliberate cursive, and for some reason, I felt a sudden rush of dread, like I'd been caught reading something private. I shut the book quickly and turned to leave. That's when I saw the figure. At first, I thought it was just my reflection in the dusty glass, but it wasn't moving like me. It was standing across the street, perfectly still, facing the store. I couldn't make out its features, but it was tall, thin, dressed in something dark that hung too loose, the sleeves dangling. I blinked, and it was gone. I told myself I'd imagined it, that the light and shadows in this place were playing tricks, but I found myself hurrying back to the car anyway. When I started the engine, the radio, which had been dead for the last hour, came alive with static. Through it, I heard what sounded like a voice, faint, garbled, but urgent. I couldn't make out words, just the rhythm of speech, and then, as suddenly as it started, silence. I drove on, deeper into Hollow Creek against my better judgment. Every house I passed looked like someone had just stepped out for a moment decades ago and never returned. Curtains hung limp in the windows, some still tied back with faded ribbons. Toys lay scattered in one yard, their plastic warped from the sun. I stopped in front of a diner, the kind with a long row of windows and a metal awning. Inside, the counter was still lined with stools, and a row of coffee cups sat upside down, their rims brown with age. A plate of what might once have been pie sat under a cracked glass dome, nothing left but a brittle, darkened lump. I walked the length of the counter, feeling that odd sensation again, the one like someone was watching me just beyond the edge of vision. At the far end, a door to the kitchen was half open, and beyond it, I caught a glimpse of movement, slow, careful. I called out, but my voice came out quieter than I expected, like the air in here swallowed it. The door swung just slightly, and I stepped forward. The kitchen was empty. No back door, no sign of anyone. Just pots hanging in a neat row, a knife still on a cutting board, its blade dulled with rust. I backed out quickly, my skin crawling. The figure was there again when I stepped outside, farther down the street this time. Closer. I still couldn't make out the face, but I was sure now that the clothes didn't fit the body inside them, like they'd been taken from someone else. My stomach tightened as I realized the sleeves were empty, hanging loose, but the figure still stood upright. I didn't think. I just got in the car and drove, following the road until the houses grew sparse, then stopped altogether. When I noticed something that froze me to the seat. The road I was on looped back into the same main street I'd just left. The same diner, the same store. And the figure was now in the middle of the road, closer than ever, its head tilted like it was curious about me. I threw the car into reverse, the tires spitting gravel, and turned off onto a narrow dirt road I hadn't seen before. It wound through dry, brittle fields, the sun now low and red. My chest was tight, my thoughts scattered, but when I finally saw the highway up ahead, I almost cried in relief. I didn't look in the rearview mirror until I was miles away, but when I did, I swear I saw the shape of someone standing on the side of the road, watching the traffic. The strange thing is, when I tried later to find Hollow Creek on any map, there was nothing, no record, not even an old newspaper article. But sometimes, late at night, when I'm driving alone through Texas, my GPS will flicker and the name Hollow Creek will flash on the screen for a second before disappearing. And I know, if I take the wrong turn, I'll see that figure again.